everybody. I just want to thank everyone again for coming here. People traveled far. It's June. Your schedules are busy, so our family to see everybody here is we really appreciate and thank you so much for making the trip out here. It's an honor. Hey, my dad, if dad was in the dictionary, I would say Joseph Burnett. He was the most honest, hardworking, smartest, intelligent man I've ever met personally. When we left Riverdale and moved to Chapel, New York, and bought a home there, I remember him carrying on 3 jobs at a time. He was teaching. He was teaching English to the immigrants at night, and he was bartending at Mount Kisco Country Club at night, during the weekend nights. And I think he had the discipline and the work ethic to instill in us children. He's probably one of the most well-known people I've ever met. I remember going to White Plains for go to school, a work day with your dad, and I remember when the class broke up, or the kids would run over and say, "You have the best dad in the world. He's my favorite teacher, hands down." And I actually heard this statement throughout my life in California, where people that had him as a teacher, and they would say the exact same thing. He was the best teacher I ever had. My father was a huge sports fan. I remember going to watch the Giants practice at Pace University in Pleasantville, New York, and the Jets used to come down and do the practices with Joe Namath, and he would try to take us to a couple New York Giant games a year, and just incredibly fun time. I'll never forget those times with my father. He's definitely the smartest person I've ever met. If you ever had a question about business, stock investments, opening a business, raising a child, he had the answer. I never had to ask for help. He would just tell me what to do. I think part of not hearing helped him filter out all the baloney out in the world in the media, and I think that's why he was very smart and sharp, because he just was able to get to the truth and get to the point. When I moved out to California, I did lose a little bit of communication with him, but every Sunday call, when I'd call in, I'd hope he'd have his hearing aid batteries recharged, because I had my questions all for him, because I knew he'd be able to help me get to the next step. And time after time again, I could count on him. He would help me through. There was a experience when I was in 8th grade. I had the unfortunate thing of finding one of my friends who had just committed suicide. I ran home, got on the phone, called the White Plains School District. Somehow they tracked down my dad. He got on the phone. He talked very calmly. He kept it very simple. He made everything okay. And that was my dad. I want to thank everybody here for coming. It's a tremendous tribute for you guys to come as far as you did. You're going to have some great food. Please enjoy each other, and looking forward to following up with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Bernath would love to invite any of you who would like to share any additional stories or thoughts. I can bring a microphone to you, or you're welcome to come up here and share any stories if you'd like to at this time.
Good afternoon. I'm Father Leonardo. I'm a neighbor a couple of houses down from Joe and Anna. And I must say it's wonderful to hear so many wonderful things about Joe, or Sam, or whatever his name is. A good man, a very good man, gracious man. I'm a Catholic priest, and I don't know how many priests Joe met during his life. You know, he wasn't a very religious man, as we all know. But every time I came here, either for tea or dinner, lunch, whatever, Joe was the most gracious, wonderful, caring person that you'd ever want to meet. So I am personally pleased to hear so many nice things about Joe, because I suspected that all along. But although he was not a religious man, he had religion, whether he understood it to be that or not. That basic goodness is wonderful. But I think in Joe's memory, the most we should do, the best things we can do, is try to live our lives in such a way that reflects what Joe stood for. That's what life and that's what death is all about. Learning from one another. I had the wonderful experience before Joe died. Stephen came down to my house. I was out in my garden puttering around, and he said, "My dad doesn't have much to live. Would you come up and give him a blessing?" So I said, "Well, Stephen, give me a chance to put on some decent clothes, and I'll come up and do that." And then the thought passed my mind. I had a religious stole that was given to me in Hungary 30 years ago by a very old Hungarian priest. He said, "Here, take this home with you and remember me whenever you use it." And so when I came up here, I brought that stole that I brought from Hungary, knowing of Joe's Hungarian ancestry, and I gave him the blessing. And he opened his eyes, and he smiled, raised his hand, and he shook it. And he said, really, with his eyes, "Goodbye." And so today, I would just read this for you in his memory, because we all live with hope that things can be better, that we can be better, we all can serve in some way, as Joe did. So I read this to you for your own consideration. I hope that I will always be for each person what that person needs me to be. I hope that each man's death will diminish me, but fear of my own will never diminish my joy of life. I hope that my love for those whom I like will never lessen my love for those whom I do not. I hope that another person's love for me will never be a measure of my love for him. I hope that every person will accept me as I am, but that I never will. I hope that I will always ask for forgiveness from others, but will never need to be asked for my own. I hope that I will always recognize my limitations, but that I will construct none. I hope that loving will always be my goal, but that love will never be my idol. I hope that every person will always have hope. And I conclude by quoting Senator Hubert Humphrey, who, politics aside, I thought was a wonderful statesman and probably should have been the President of the United States at some point. But when he was told that he had cancer and inoperable and would die from it, someone asked him how he felt. And he said, "You know, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away. But it's not what the Lord takes away that's important. It's what we do with what we have left. And we have each other left. Let's make the most of it in loving and caring and sharing in Joe's memory. Joe, may you rest in peace."
This time I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the playing of taps and the presentation of the American flag.